This is BeatStars Gurus, the music marketing podcast for ambitious musicians. It's powered by BeatStars, the easiest way to sell beats, songs, albums, and keep 100% of your sales. To start selling for free today, visit BeatStars.com. Hey music makers, my name is Abe and I'm the host of the BeatStars Gurus podcast. Each week we put out podcast interviews with successful musicians, experts, and entrepreneurs that will help inspire, motivate, and give you tips to increase your sales, traffic on your BeatStars store so you can live the life that you dream of having. And this week we sit down with DJ, producer, entrepreneur Cam Taylor, who's based in Houston, Texas. He shares with us how he built his online business in just 4 short months, as well as how he finds inspiration to take his sound to the next level, and how working with other artists locally in town has changed his whole mentality. What's up, everybody? It's Abe, and this is the BeatStars Gurus podcast, and today we're sitting down with a special guest. Finally, we talked to someone down south in Houston, Texas, the one and only Cam Taylor. How you doing, man?
Doing great, brother. How's it going with you, man?
Hey, man, I'm real excited. I'm real excited to talk to you because we bumped into each other at South by Southwest, and and I've been following along with your career, and it's just been really exciting, man, to just kind of watch you progress.
Oh yeah, it's been crazy. It's been a whirlwind real quick, and especially thanks to you guys.
Oh no, man, it always starts with great music, but I must say, I really don't know too much about you, and I really tried to do some research on you and try to see, get some more information about you. But all I know, other than that you make really, really dope music and that you're making a killing on BeatStars, for those that don't know you and don't know much about you, please, give us some background on yourself and tell us a little bit how you got started in making music.
Yeah, so the way I really got started was I waddled around with it a bunch when I was in my young teens, and it was when I was a freshman in high school. I had a football injury, and after that, I'm a short guy. I wasn't going to play anyway, so got that injury. I was like, all right, it's time to switch it up, and that's really when I picked up the music full time because I needed really something to do, and it just kind of blossomed from there. And I would never have imagined it grow into what it has. And so, it started off, FL Studio, the cheapo mic plugged, into the back of the computer directly. No clue what I was doing with music, no keyboard, anything. And to be sitting here and I've got this, studio here in front of me today, it's unreal.
That's awesome, man. I'm sure, it didn't happen overnight. And I'm sure you really had to, especially just hearing the quality in your music, you spent countless hours probably, practicing, perfecting your craft. How many years did you say you've kind of been doing this actively?
Actively, I'm 27 now, and I really started flipping beats and everything real seriously back when I was around 17. Mm-hmm. And as soon as I graduated high school, I took a different route, than the rest of my siblings and everybody. And so, instead of doing straight into college, I took the leap of faith and went directly out to Los Angeles. And one of the things that actually helped prompt that move was before, I was really had much going on with the music, I did a bunch of acting. So lots of people have seen a bunch of the commercials and stuff that I've done. One of the big campaigns.
Wait, hold on. You said acting. So I just recently moved to Texas, right? And I had a really good burger from a place called Whataburger. I thought it was pretty good. Do you by any chance know anything about Whataburger?
I know a whole bunch about Whataburger. My buddies always mess around because I always use the word partial. So I'm partial to the Whataburger, and that was because when right as I was graduating, I landed a huge commercial campaign with those guys. So I was the 99-cent taquito kid, and then they called me the new guy, and that was pretty sweet because it got me into the Screen Actors Guild and a bunch of other stuff. So that's really what helped drive that, and supply the money to be able to make the move. and really kick the music up a notch.
Yeah, that's really dope, man. Yeah, I was just, of course, being a troll, going on your YouTube channel, and I saw that commercial, and I was like, you know what? I think I've seen this commercial before, and you did a hell of a job, man. You did a hell of a job with that one. You really sold the confused intern kind of.
Yeah, so I've had all kinds of little random comings throughout the years, and all different little tricks up my sleeve, I guess.
Cool. What else? So what other stuff have you worked on in kind of like the acting world?
One of the other ones, this was years ago, was a Nerf commercial, and that was one of the first things, and we shot that up in Dallas at the basketball stadium.
Okay.
So that was off the chain. I was I think 15 years old at the time, because I couldn't drive. My mom had to drive me up there and sit on set with me. And so I'm 15 years old. I had my own little trailer. I felt like a daggum superstar.
Yo,
sure is, but hey.
I love it, man. I love it. So you got to tell me, how did you kind of get involved in getting your name out to want to do gigs like that? Was that something your parents kind of pushed you to do, or was there an agent locally?
Yeah, no, not at all. That's weird, because no one in my direct family, around me, ever really did anything with the music or the acting. And the person who did, and it's unfortunate I didn't get to know him very well, was my grandfather on my dad's side. He was a musician, and so I've heard all the stories, and my dad actually, he has some of his old school pictures from back in the day, because he used to play with all the Texas country artists and country artists, back in the, I guess it was the 70s, 60s, and everything. So
awesome.
It's in the bloodline, but I really did just come completely left field from everybody else.
No, but my main question was really just okay, you're 15 years old, or you were how old when you first did your first kind of acting gig? Was that 15?
Yeah. Yeah,
okay.
That would be
all
the
right.
first.
So 15 years old, you're in high school. You're probably just thinking about girls and what you're gonna do next with your friends after school, right? And so, how was a 15-year-old thinking about going and grabbing, that side of how did you go about getting and landing those gigs? Was that something you did online, or you just made some phone calls? How did you go about that?
Yeah, see, I was a weird kid, I guess, because versus being out, wanting to hit the parties out on the Friday nights, do everything big, I was, making cold calls out to radio stations. I was cold calling agencies. That's what I did. While my buddies are watching ESPN, I'm online trying to hunt down A&Rs.
Dope.
And I don't know why that it's just what I did, and it's been like that ever since. I got my buddies. I'm from Texas. They're all about trucks and all this other stuff. Well, I'm over here. How the heck does a compressor work at 15? That's what I was doing. I fell in love with the music. I fell in love with the acting. I just fell in love with entertainment.
Dope.
And that's what led to it.
Got it. Yeah, I could totally feel it, man. And now talking to you again, when we bumped into each other this year at South by Southwest here in Austin, my first impression, I was like, this dude has some really cool energy, man. He's really positive, and you seem like a people person. So do you feel that when running your own music business online and offline, is it important to have an approachable personality for your customers? Do you think it's important for you to have return business? Is it something that you just naturally do, or kind of really consciously set yourself out to be a people person?
No, I think that's one thing that I think a lot of people don't realize, is that music is business. Whether you're a producer or you work in sales for a Fortune 500 company, you've got to be approachable. You have to put yourself out there that way, because those are your clients. You've got to, be willing to go the extra mile to continue to get that return business, because otherwise you're always going to be hunting for something new. And that is the hardest part of doing anything, any type of job. The more repeat business you can generate, by really catering to your customers and the artists that are buying your material.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for us as producers, I think the biggest honor is to be able to create something and then have somebody want to buy that. Mm-hmm. And then for them to keep coming back for more, that's huge. Mm-hmm. And that's how I feel more producers need to approach stuff. Because I've had many artists tell me personally mm-hmm. that they're shocked at how I actually handle them. Mm-hmm. I'll let them call me up, discuss different material. What are they looking for? What would they like me to create?
Right.
So I'm constantly doing it for the people, doing it for the artists. And
you're really like a chef. You're really like an executive chef at a restaurant.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. You're cooking. What do you want? What do you want me to create? I'll sit down and create something on my own. But what are the artists looking for? What do people want? Just cater to them.
Yeah. And that is one trait, I think, being around producers for so many years now and just kind of seeing this whole industry evolve, especially online. What kills me the most about a lot of producers is how non-personable they are and how seclusive and how kind of like, very to themselves they are. And it
absolutely.
And it kills me because, some of these guys' music is amazing. Some of these guys' music is just like crazy, right? But because they're so just not very approachable, you get kind of turned off to do work with them, do business with them. So I'm really happy that you really adopted that mentality as, hey, this is my business. I have to take pride in my business. This is, whatever it is I'm selling, I'm the face of this business. And if people cannot, relate with me and work with me and connect with me, then, this business is not going to grow.
Oh, exactly. And I've had artists actually write me, complete strangers, mm-hmm. and just say, man, I appreciate how fast you've gotten back to me. And they're like, we've reached out to other people. It's taken them 2 weeks to just shoot me a simple email back.
Right.
And, be quick to respond. Mm-hmm. And, to me, that I'm telling you, that it's exciting. It's an honor. I don't care if you're buying a $20 lease or, paying me $1,000 for exclusive rights. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. You're going to get the same treatment.
Yeah, man, that is awesome. I really hope everyone hears this and, adopts it because it's how every business should be run. But, so, okay, how you were saying how, let's go back to the actual core of this discussion, which is your music. You're really, when I listen to your music, man, you have a mix of hip hop, you have a mix of pop, EDM. You really kind of mesh a lot of different genres into one, and it sounds very commercial and very today, right? It sounds very today.
Yeah.
How do you? I mean, do you spend time listening to current music charts like on Spotify or Billboard or whatever it is, just listening to like music charts and kind of gauging what is really hot right now? Is that something you do?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will dig into every subgenre that gets released, whether it's future bass, tropical house, deep house, future house. I will dissect everything that I'm listening to because I love how music is constantly evolving. And to be able to evolve with it, that's what you're hearing. Because I'm taking something that I've done for years and just adding a new little flair to it. Like, for example, Flume, super hot right now. San Holo, super hot. I just did a new beat called Space City. And on that one, that's what a big part of that influence came in from. I had this crazy gated synth, and I modulated. So I just put the LFOs on it, and, I'm modulating the gate, the speed, the width of the gate. And that's where that comes from. So when you're hearing this blend with this commercial sound, it's because, yes, that's exactly what I'm doing. I am, exploring, and I'm constantly trying to find something new, something fresh before it hits. Right.
That's very interesting to really go in and kind of dissect the subgenres of a main genre. Because, not too long ago, literally 10 years ago, no one was listening to EDM, right?
No.
Like there,
not at all. I can remember.
I used to work at a major distributor in San Francisco, and all we sold was EDM music. And dude, life was tough. And life was tough because it was only something that was really kind of adopted in Europe and things like that, you know? So paying attention to these subgenres that may eventually become its own genre, I think that's a very smart strategy.
I feel like the more you hone in on that, that's where the influence is going to come from. Mm-hmm. And that's where I've always really tried to focus my energy, because especially lately, you can hear a lot of the tropical house element. Mm-hmm. I was on that for a long time before Kigo and all them started popping up.
Right.
And so, I mean, to be able to stay ahead of the curve and to where you're becoming more of a leader versus a follower,
right,
is huge. I mean, there's nothing wrong, in my opinion, with dropping the Metro Boomin type beat.
Right.
I mean, I do it myself because people want it. Mm-hmm. But to be able to hone in and create something of your own, that is the separator for us as producers. And that's where I get a lot of these clients from, because they hear it, they can hear the influence, and they want that because they know they stand out. And that's why I will flip these exclusives like I do.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. You sell a lot of exclusives, and for thousands of dollars. Like you're consistently selling non-exclusives. You're consistently selling exclusives, generating a very, very nice income stream for yourself, man. How long have you been selling online? Is this something that's pretty new for you, or have you been kind of doing this for a while?
No, see, that's what's crazy. I had first gotten on BeatStars is probably about a year and a half ago, and I didn't really push much online. And the only reason for that is I do got a lot of artists here in Houston that I work with, especially real heavy with the Christian hip hop community down here. It's huge in Houston.
Right.
And so a lot of the beats, I'm constantly selling. Well, I decided, finally, let me really see what can happen and see if I push this stuff out online, what will happen.
Right.
And it just a span of a few short months. I mean, I've really been pushing online for 4 months now. And in that
crazy.
span, that's how fast it's happened.
Wow.
And
man. That's nuts.
It shocked me. And I can remember that, one weekend the sales started flowing. And I mean, I was absolutely stunned. It blew me away.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. We us as a team, we have a marketing meeting every week, right? We go through and we see what's who are some of the new members that jump on board. And yeah, this is probably right before we met. You saw me at South by. You saw me. You saw me like, hey, what's up? And I was like, oh wow. I was just digging into your catalog, like literally like a week before. It's kind of crazy how how stuff like that works,
it blew my mind because, just a few days before that, it was that Saturday. You guys had hit me up and were like, "Hey, you're killing it right now. Expect some extra push and support." Right. And I mean that in itself, I'm sure you saw it. I was immediately Instagramming it, just blown away and just over the top, like, wow, seriously, me of all people. And but it's unreal.
Yeah, that's what we do. That's literally what we do. We don't that's my old A&R antennas, right, from back in the day, right? We have it's an obsession. It's an obsession that we have to find the next, big producer on the platform. And we literally are finding them on a daily basis. And we're so lucky to have found you and your music and started reposting your stuff and getting behind your stuff, man. It's been really, really fun, really kind of seeing your whole career grow. I didn't know it was 4 months, dude. That is pretty, that's pretty nuts, man. That's pretty nuts. All right, so let's get back to kind of where you are kind of prior to this. You were saying that you were working a lot in the Christian hip hop scene, which has just exploded, right? It's so crazy how if you every few months you'll go to the iTunes charts and you'll just see this artist that you've never heard of just dominate number one for like 4 or 5 weeks. And it turns out it's a Christian hip hop artist like Lecrae or someone else that from that genre that just dominates, right?
Oh,
the support.
Yeah, I mean, it's unreal. Like, one of the artists I've worked with a ton, his name's Von Juan. And Von, man, you know, they'll go out and put out a record. You know, nobody listening to this podcast is going to be like, oh, yeah, I know that guy.
Right.
No, dude puts up an album, and the next thing you know, they're sitting number 20 on the hip-hop chart. It's like, what?
Yep.
An album sales. I mean, it's unflippin' real. And it's like its own little just, wow.
It's not little. It's not little.
No, by no means.
Yeah, no, it's that once again, it's a testament to kind of finding out, you know, what are some of these trending subgenres in music and kind of gravitating towards them and collaborating with them. And there's this one artist, man, that you posted on your Facebook just a couple days ago, Austin Lanier. Is that his name? Lanier?
Austin Lanier. That dude is an absolute monster.
We're calling it right now. He's gonna blow up. That's that's happening.
If you haven't checked out, I need to send you guys his SoundCloud. It's the dude. Vaughn was actually the one that connected us to, and because he's a young cat. He's from Virginia, and so when we first connected, I had produced a beat, and Vaughn sent it over to him. And he drops this verse on it, and it was unlike anything I have ever heard from anyone. Dude was coming in the weirdest pentameters, spitting the hardest bars, and I'm like, who the heck is this cat? Right. I remember I was sitting in the car with my dad, and I turned it on, and even my pops turns around, he's like, yo, play that again. And, I mean, cat is unreal. And so I've teamed up with him, you know, kind of exclusively doing production and everything for him. And I mean, this cat, he real deal, monster.
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, it's you know, I had to watch the video a couple times too, man. And I checked out another one of his videos that I don't think you produced, but but the one that you did produce, like, whoa, you know, really, and you had a cameo in it, of course. You're looking great. You were doing your thing. And
came on the beat, got him spazzing.
and the song is really starting to take off on Facebook. Yo, how was the process making that track with Austin? And of course, you know, it was a real positive track. I really liked it, man. It's like an ode to all the moms out there. And
absolutely.
Yeah. So how did you guys make it? How did you guys get together from A to Z? I want to hear that story.
That one is probably one of the dopest scenarios. So I was talking to Austin. I was kind of explaining to him about, you know, online marketing, you know, how to drive, you know, people to your music. And one of the ways that I had found that had worked for me in the past was doing covers and remixing, but taking it and doing it from scratch. And so I had spent a Friday night, you know, really breaking all that down to him and explaining it. And like I said earlier, dude's from Virginia, and I stay out here in Cypress, Texas. It's a nice area. And so I was taking him around, just kind of showing him the city. And he was just absolutely mind blown by, you know, some of these homes in these neighborhoods out here. He hadn't seen anything like it before. And so I was, you know, like letting him check out these mansions and stuff. And we're literally driving around. He hops on FaceTime with his mom. And the old dude is sitting there, and, you know, I'm cracking up because he's just cheesing, so stoked that he's, like, in front of these homes. I'm cracking up like, you're window shopping to the max right now, bro. But but he's sitting there on FaceTime with his mom, and he's like, you know, telling her, I'm going to get you one of these homes one day. You deserve this. And she's sitting there on the other end. No, I just need a cottage. That's, you know, that's too much. And, you know, they're going back and forth. And, you know, I'm just sitting over there just cheesing, cracking up at this conversation.
Right.
And we pull back up, you know, to the studio. And as we're sitting there, we start kind of discussing his music again. And he tells me, I keep saying, like, whoa, in my music. And he's like, I keep sitting there I keep saying it, like, whoa, like, whoa, like, whoa. And if you listen to his music, he does say it. It's kind of like his little catchphrase. And then the track, Work From Home, by Fifth Harmony pops up on the radio. And he happened to say it in time with work from home. And I was like, yo, say that again. And he was like, huh? And it was because the way he said it lined up perfectly with those lyrics and the melody. And so I came up into the studio and I just hammered that track out and recreated it, within about 30 minutes. And oh boy, I told him, write something. Just you go downstairs and write. Here's the track. Just do your thing. 30 minutes later, dude has that song written. And it was everything that we had just done. And that's why the song was about his mother and buying her the home. And life being like, whoa. I was like, dude, you're a monster. Absolute monster.
Yeah, that's crazy. That is a really, really crazy story. I love hearing stories of just like times where creativity just sparks, man, and it just kind of lines up. The universe just lines up, and the track is really dope. Tell his ass. I shouldn't probably curse at him, but he's a Christian hip hop artist. but tell his ass to get on BeatStars so we can repost his music and kind of kick off that boy's career, because he's something else.
Oh, dude, he is, and I mean that's how I am. I want to see these cats make it. I would love to be a driving force behind them, and just be able to be part of the magic. But I'm the same way as you guys. It's almost like an A&R instinct. Like, you just want to work with talented people, and to have talented people hop on your music, that is one of the dopest things, in my opinion, that there is. To watch that magic get created from something that you sit down with your brain and you're just let something happen. And then to have a whole nother genius come on top of it and create this whole combination of greatness, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, man, it's really cool, man. I bet it definitely like gets your juices pumping and gets you kind of like trying to elevate your music to a whole different level. Now, speaking
100%.
Speaking of elevating your music, man, what software do you produce in primarily? Man,
I'd say about 90% is going to be all out of FL Studio.
Okay.
And then, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and what are you doing? Because I know every producer kind of has their routine in making sure that their catalog of sounds is up to date, and plugins and things like that. How much time do you spend, like on a weekly basis, just kind of collecting stuff for your next sessions and things like that?
Oh my goodness, it's like a darn addiction. I mean, just constantly just hunting libraries, hunting for presets, hunting for sounds, creating my own. What's hilarious is 9 times out of 10, I'm actually pulling sounds from the three. I'm probably going to say it wrong, so hopefully everybody doesn't know me. But that 3X oscillator inside of FL, the most basic darn thing there is, that thing is responsible for a ton of the sounds in my tracks. And then another huge one has got to be Nexus. And I see people knock on it a lot, but for me, the quicker you can create and have something solid and ready to go at your fingertips, the better. The more music and the faster I can get my ideas out. There's times I'll sit there and create, the sounds from scratch out of silence or whatnot, or masses. But to be able to just pull something and just hammer it out, that helps me just keep my workflow that much faster and that much more productive. And I think a lot of that stigma for producers halts them, because I'll be real quick to go hunt down some, really dope sample packs, find a loop to get me inspired. And it's funny because I tell people that, and they'll kind of frown upon it, but to me, that keeps you fresh, keeps your brain flowing. And that's what's worked solid for me since day one.
Right. No, I can hear that, especially in regards to keeping your creativity dormant. Like, if you get obsessed with having the next new this and new that, and learning this new and learning that new plugin or this new process, you're slowing your progress. And so by going to the tools that you're kind of comfortable with, hammer out those ideas and then kind of iterate them later on. That's
Yeah.
a great process, man, for sure. Do you ever use any kind of like mobile kind of like sketch kind of software platforms, kind of like iMachine or something like that? Do you ever use any like or FL Studio Mobile, just kind of mess around and just get something out?
I do. I haven't used the FL Studio Mobile a whole bunch, and that's only because I always forget to charge my daggum iPad. It's a curse that just I'll probably carry with me my whole life. But iMachine, I do use that religiously, just sketching out ideas. And I the past probably 6 months, I've really gotten huge with because I went and purchased the Machine Studio, and so that that is where I sketch everything. So the bulk of work gets done over in FL, but I do start pretty much everything with the machine or with the Machine Mobile every single time. And to be able to sit there, I'm out and about and inspiration strikes, and to be able to, drop some chords real fast on iMachine, be able to get back here and upload it into the Machine Studio, you cannot beat that workflow.
Yeah, I like that. That is literally, yeah. I mean, you can't plan when you're going to be creative, especially as an artist or a producer, man. There's no like, hey, hold up, brain. Let me wait about 10 hours. Wait till I get home, and man. It's like you have to let it out now. You have to let it out now. Yeah, that's dope.
You have to.
Yeah.
And it's funny, especially if you're out and about, and that inspiration strikes. It's like, hey, I have to go. I got to get rolling. I got to get back.
Yeah. Do you ever find like your friends and family, like you might be at a restaurant, you come up with an idea and you just kind of zone out on the phone, and everyone looking, oh, there goes Cam again, making a beat.
Oh, it's hilarious because I do that constantly, and everyone knows what's happening, and or they'll call me and I'll be sitting there talking, say to my mom on the phone, and then the next thing you know, I am just zoned out in old left field, and and they're like, okay, go get to the music. And it's hilarious because I'm trying to act like I'm paying attention, and everybody else knows. So there's no hiding it.
Yeah, there was a conversation that we had on the BeatStars Facebook page the other day where our social media guy asked a question. Friends, or something in the sense of like, friends aren't real friends if they don't share your music. And I kind of had, you saw that, and there was like a flurry of like discussion and topics, and I actually commented on that. Do you see your family, in friends, like do you feel like you're kind of bombarding them to like, did you ever make them feel guilty, to share your music or to kind of support your music? Or is it something that you would rather have them naturally want to do organically to be a part of your career?
No, I've always wanted it to be organic. Mm-hmm. And because to me that means a whole lot more. Because otherwise you're coming off like a daggum Mary Kay makeup self. Mm-hmm. I've always wanted that to be an organic thing. And, I've always just kind of let it happen, and because to me that's when it's real. I don't want to force anything on anybody. I want them to be able to hear it and love it just as much as I do, not because I told them to listen or told them to repost it.
Right.
And to when the friends and family start sharing it and embracing it and loving it, and they start pushing you just as much as you're pushing yourself, just because they see your passion. And they hear the progress and see it, and they see your growth. That's huge to me, especially not having to get behind it. Now, as far as the friends go, it does, it's pissed me off in the past when, you're sitting here, you're working on something great, and then people don't embrace it, at all. That can get to you. It does eat at you sometimes, right. But the organic love is definitely overpowers that 100%.
Cool. Well, for those of you that don't know who Cam Taylor is and haven't heard any of his music, let's get into one of his tracks. I picked Limitless to play today, man. That track gets me all pumped up and makes me want to go out there and just party, man. So let's get into Limitless, and then when we get back, Cam's gonna kind of break down that track, what went into it, and we'll be right back. All right, that was Limitless by Cam Taylor Productions. You can find Cam on BeatStars, beatstars.com/Cam Taylor Productions. You can find him on his website, camtaylorproductions.com. That was Limitless, man. I mean, come on, like the energy on that one. Man. What were you doing in the studio making that one?
Man, when I got that chord progression that hits the beginning right, I was kind of jumping up and down out of my chair. I was like, that is candy. And the way that track just pieced together and the way it turned out, I mean, I shocked myself on it. And it's funny because that breakdown on that one, Abe, when you hear it transition and it drops into that crazy dubstep type side, that was on accident. And I've noticed a lot of the times with music, the accidents actually become some of the major magic because I had copied and pasted and did something. Still don't even know what I did, but it removed my chops and just put the chords in. And I had hit a mono, like a legato slide or something, and that thing just started rolling. I was like, "Oh my Lanta, what the heck did I just do? That is sick!" And I rolled with it.
That's cool, man. Yeah, no, it's definitely a dope track, and yeah, those imperfections sometimes give that track its character. Give the track its character.
Oh, it does. It does.
So okay, so we got a couple more things I want to talk to you about, and then we'll wrap this up, man. I think we've covered a lot. Everyone's got to know you, but I wanted to ask you, man. Since it's only been 4 months, you've really went all in. Decided to become an entrepreneur and sell your beats online. Not that you weren't already an entrepreneur, but you really started to take your business digitally. How has the BeatStars platform and technology helped you with your online business and kind of giving you the tools to kind of take it to a whole new level online?
Man, it's been amazing how effective the instant store has been for me, because be able to go in as well and look at where am I getting the most traffic, what is working, and to be able to see where that traffic's coming in from is a game changer, because I know exactly what's working and what's not, because I can see where each one of my stores is at. And so that in itself, being able to analyze that data is huge. And then to be able to do like the monetization for YouTube and all that's off the chain. And being able to use y'all's platform to be able to instantly deliver the product to the customers has been so incredibly effective. And then be able to go back and communicate with those people afterwards, I mean, that is just huge. And in my opinion, because I tried out other stores beforehand, and BeatStars is what I chose. I love the product, I love the look, and I just liked how centralized everything was and at my fingertips.
That's cool, man. No, really happy to see all of your success and seeing you use kind of all the different products, like taking advantage of everything that we're building, with the embeddable stores on your website and on your Facebook page and, on social media. It's really, like you said, how it's an honor for you to make beats for other people to rap on. It's an honor for us to develop these technologies for you guys to make a living doing this and, have full control of your careers. We thank you. We wouldn't be BeatStars without guys like you, man. So hats off to everything that you're doing, man.
100%.
So that's really it. Do you have any kind of last words that you want to talk to the people about and just kind of leave them with?
Man, just everybody out there, just create from the heart, and just do what you like. Don't worry about what you think other people are gonna feel. If you're vibing out to it and you think that it's flaming, end of the day, that really truly is what matters, because it won't matter what anybody says about the tunes. If you're sitting there and your heart's in what you just created, it doesn't matter what the hell anybody else says. It's the same thing as if, it's your girlfriend. If you love her to death and nothing else in the world matters, and that's how I am with the music, and that's how I hope all the other producers are as well.
Cam, thank you for all the inspirational words, man. Guys, check us out, the BeatStars Gurus podcast. We're on iTunes, SoundCloud, and of course, we're on BeatStars. So check us out, stay in touch, leave some comments where we post these, and we'll keep bringing you more. Check you out next week.